All right, God damn it. Look like we can get started. Oh, no, we can't. I ain't hit this weed yet. I'm a drug addict. I gotta have this weed. Now, as I mellow into a zone, we can start discovering our personal greatness. I'm real with this. All it takes is plans. Everybody don't make plans. A lot of people make plans for every goddamn thing. Plans for this, plans for that. In reality, there's a plan for you in your fucking life. Most of us, though, don't really plan. We think of something and we say we gonna do it, you know, when possible. And that's that. Planning is systematically organizing a way or a method that you'll use to achieve a goal. Now, on the way to achieving that goal, there are physical milestones that you can see or touch that's going to let you know you own your planned path. Now, once your plan has been executed, you should have in front of you what you planned on having. Now, it's critical. It's critical thinking where most of us fall excuse me, where most of us fall short. So, in this coming new year, let's all realize we're going to stop simply thinking and move on to planning. We all know critical thinking is an intricate part of planning. So let's think our plans through to the end, breaking them down into steps so we can execute the steps and realize our goal. When you're on a discovery mission concerning yourself, don't listen to any other person's version of your discovery. People always want to add their 2 cents when it's at your expense. You won't believe how many people told me the way I was going would not work on the internet. I don't think I could stand a better year than this past year was. But you know, I'm down. I'm down for it. Straight ahead to the top. That's where I'm going. Now, on a sadder note, this is the time of year that I really miss my parents. I just do. Christmas, I used to love giving mom stuff. Her birthday just passed January the 19th. My mom, January the 19th, 1919. Them some 19s, ain't it? But anyway, I miss all my family that's passed. I miss my brothers, Clint Jr., Richard, and now Jean, my sister Evelyn. RIP to them all. Men like me are not afraid to change their lives. I'm honored to know and associate myself with the caliber of men I know. My partner, who pimped all his life, went and got a job. He was over 50. This motherfucker went and got a job and handled his business like a pro. This motherfucker ain't never worked in his life. Tay as wild of a motherfucker as he is and was, has never shirked his duty to his children. The early ones he may have slipped with, but once he became a real motherfucker in the life, the Aberdabbian wouldn't let him be a deadbeat dad. Oh yeah, if left up to the state, he certainly would have been defined as a deadbeat dad because he didn't pay child support. But I know for a fact he took care of his kids, and I can attest to witnessing everything he did. I watched Tay sit with me in the after hour spot for a hell of hours at a time. I mean, it's always like a club, and there ain't no windows. It's always dark. So you let the time fly by. If you ain't really paying attention to it. Many a nights we let 7 a.m. slip up on us, and that nigga would get up and leave, and I would say, "Nigga, where you going?" And he said, "Man, I gotta get my boy to school." I mean, that's what my nigga would say. Or even if it was during the day and we had some bitches we was at, man, 3 p.m. came, that nigga would stop whatever he was doing and go get his boy from school. That nigga would take and pick him up to every single football or basketball or baseball practice, any fucking party his son wanted to go to. Tay took him and his friends and picked them up. And I'm not ashamed to admit this. I learned hella shit about being a real pimp from Tay. And I also learned just as much about being a real father. I used to talk about his fucking ass, talking about he's making his son soft by not making him find his way. He said, "No, bud, too much shit happened at them bus stops." Man, I hadn't had a kid, so I thought he was, just saying whatever. But when I got my daughter at 6 months, she was 6 months old. Almost immediately, my first thought was to be the same damn way. And my girl will tell you, I made sure she was on time. I took and picked her up to wherever she and her girlfriends wanted to go. I'd meet their parents, and I tell them to not worry because I'm the designated driver. Now, I got that mentality from my pimp friend Tay. No matter what you do in life, it's all about your priorities. That's why you got to realize your personal greatness. If your priorities are right, your life will follow suit. You don't need to be rich to care about others. No matter what, rich people will have their seasons. None of them, and some of you, don't care that a lot of people beg in Christmas season and whatever holiday season. They're not on the corner begging, but I imagine that's how they feel. I'm talking about the motherfuckers waiting in line for a box of food and politicians acting as if they ain't gonna need more food next week. I'm praying for all of us that's in need. Believe it or not, I'm among the blessed and believe I will survive all this chaos unscathed. This is not a boast. I'm truly blessed. I don't need to stand or wait in line for a meal. I used to say that as a boast of being me. I ain't never gonna be in no motherfucking line stand. But I wasn't thinking I'd see a day people like me doing just that. Man, we didn't allow ourselves to get into this by not voting as we should. And let's not keep doing this. I mean, I don't care who you fucking vote for. It's just important for you to get out and vote. Every election from here on is seriously important. Whether you know it or not, whether you believe it or not, these motherfuckers, white people, are using the laws to take us back to slavery. And believe me, once they do it in a legal manner, you're going to have hell getting it back. I'm just saying, and this is not a political type thing, although I guess it is. But it's really not, because I'm not being political. I'm just being real with you right now. Let's just not do that shit again. Let's keep it straight up. Each election is serious, but anyone from here on out is really serious, because your vote counts, and if we use it correctly, we'll never have to experience this inexperience of an inept fucking administration again, because that's what we're reeling from still. Trump's administration. I've never experienced a time at Christmas where I couldn't be around my family like I did in that COVID. I do remember a couple of Christmas days I missed because of different shit, but never one where I couldn't see any of my family. I lived over 30 Christmases without my dad, 10 without my mother and brother, and 8 without my sister. This is the second one without my oldest. Well, this is not the second one. This is probably the third one. But I'm saying without my oldest brother. And of all those Christmas days, this past one was the worst, because I had to add another brother to that list of the departed. My brother Gene passed. And this was like our first or second, I think it's the first year, well, especially this year, it's the first full year without him. You know, Gene was the motherfucker. That's what he would say. Look, motherfucker, you ain't right. John, you know I could build a gorilla. I just can't make him talk. Come on, nigga, because we used to talk about who could build the best shit. But he was hella better than me, because he took the time to measure and get everything correct. You know, I've visualized everything. Except when it came to that pool table, he was very impressed about me building that pool table. The other day, I'm serious, I saw a line of cars so long it took me over 2 minutes to drive to the front to see what this line was. And it was people in line for food. These were Americans sitting in their cars waiting for their turn to get a box of food for these past holidays. How fucked up do you think they feel? How many of them have one less plate to fix because of that fucking COVID? I'm serious. Hey, look, wait, why you guys ain't calling in? Somebody, I get inspired by the call-ins. 702-605-4721. Call in 702-605-4721. Now, my point is it's just horrible, and I'm really quite sad about it, to be truthful. Now, on another note, I had a young listener tell me he does not have a price tag stamped on his forehead. Now, the reason he said that, he was responding to me because I made a statement, a broad statement, overly broad statement, and he wanted to check me on it, because I said all the motherfucker got to do is be with a broad and she show him any kind of, money that she could do this or that for him, and he good, he in there, cause he may as well have a price tag stamped on his forehead. Cause if the bitch meet that price, shit, he with it. Now, this motherfucker checked me on it. I'm sure you really don't know what the hell he talking about, but I do. Because he and I speak the same language. And that's the language of alpha men talking about the hunt. I'm not going to divulge what he said or translate it for you who won't seek self-help. No. You just continue to sit and wonder what's going on in the world as it passes you by. And to that youngster, I say, stay down, and soon, very soon, you're going to be wearing that crown. You got to remember this. You got to display your confidence. You can't explain any of it, especially to your undeserving friends. Those motherfuckers who are willing to change are the deserving. Today is a great day to start on a new direction for your life. Your personal greatness is there for you. And if you don't chase it, then what are you doing? Life does not end with pussy. But it damn sure begins with it. If your goddamn daddy didn't know how to go about getting at the women of his day, your ass wouldn't be here. So for me to sit here and tell you pussy is not important, that would be, a lie. More important than getting it is being qualified to have it. There is a qualification process you got to go through if you ever expect to be a hunter instead of the prey. The women you meet are qualified to charge your motherfucking ass if you show the slightest weakness to them. And it's almost impossible for you not to show how afraid you are. The ABPs always be playing, life will prevent you from allowing yourself to become susceptible to her feminine wiles. Because she's definitely about to play them on your weak ass. So, today, start realizing if you want to catch a woman, you have to do what I did or a similar version of what I did. And I learned how to make my expression, my facial expressions, work with my conversations. I learned that an animated motherfucking hunter, motherfucker making moves, got these expressions and got the voice changes and all that shit. That motherfucker has an added element to his catch hand that is as good as his conversation. So as he's speaking, his animation is double whamming, baby. See, looking all serious, and that ain't gonna get, woman to relax and allow her to get into what the fuck you said, or in your case, trying to say. If your expressions do not reflect the precise thing you want from her, she will not volunteer it to your begging ass. So, take it from me, or better yet, enroll in sidewalku.thinkific.com so that you can learn what to do to prepare yourself to become a woman magnet. Become a man who attracts women. Women who want to give you whatever you have the nerve to ask for. Now, if this sounds easy, it's because it is easy. I practiced the steps to success with women with everything I did. Going to the store, going to the mall, going to the post office, anywhere I was, I practiced my shit because I was always down. ABPs mean always be playing. Because if you're not playing, you ready to get played. Play or be played. That's what it's about. Now, even pumping gas, I was on my ABPs just as you should be. Always be playing. Have an idea. Be doing something. Don't just be there. After reading about the ABP principle, you need to get involved with my course and get on your way to becoming a more confident than ever motherfucker. Especially when it comes to approaching women with the right things to say. I'm always extreme, but never am I an extremist. I believe in no apologies because I do not apologize for being myself. Because I believe I apologize for doing what comes naturally to me. I also believe in no fear. I lost the fear of what people will think about me being me. It's scary to wonder how someone will receive what you're representing. So be your best you. It's important to show no shame. I no longer think of or feel shame in what I'm doing or who I am. Most people want to please everyone except themselves. You should start concentrating on yourself first. Then you may branch out to offer others help. And I also believe in showing no disrespect. Simply because I speak my mind, I do not mean any person disrespect. Especially because I'm just being me. There are many tricks others play to keep you from growing and leaving them where they currently are. So what you should also have is no regrets. Do not regret the choices you've made to be who you are, or for the so-called friends you may lose for being yourself. Now, what I just gave you, and I hope the brother that asked me about this is listening, because I wanted to make sure I got a show with the five no's in it, because the brother asked me about them, and I didn't recall them right off the top of my head. But these are the five no's you need to have as part of your belief. No apologies, no fear, no shame, no disrespect, and no regrets. Implement them in your life ASAP. Who, what, when, where, and why are the five W words you need to know. If you answer those questions in everything you do, you'll be on your way to critical thinking. You're not planning if you don't take the idea past the initial thought. Who, what, when, where, and why. Who is it important to? What is important? When is it important? Where can they use what's important? And why should they use it? If you answer all that, your ass is in. Now, the other day, I withdrew $51 bills. Well, not $1 bills, $50, and I got them changed to $1 bills. And decided to go out and do what I hardly ever do anymore, unless it's the holidays, which it was. I went out and gave the panhandlers $1 each. And I told them to keep the faith. Now, I hardly ever give to the panhandlers because I believe if they wanted to, they could get a fucking job. They be doing what they doing for 8 hours at a time, staying in the same place. What is the job but doing the same thing in the same place for 8 hours? When it's the holidays, I'm saying, since I claim to be a person not afraid of change, I lean towards the community these days, especially. And those homeless fucking panhandlers are a part of my community, whether I like it or not. So I'm riding up to each one of them, giving them a buck, and wish them good luck. Hopefully, I ain't gonna see them buying illicit items with what I gave them. Now, if they do and it makes their days happy, who am I to say it's not cool? Different groups, clubs, and organizations, they have standards. And these standards are so the club can have a certain level of membership. To keep it pure, or to make it to where just anybody couldn't join. Now, some of the standards are a little difficult to have or maintain, especially in groups of high achievers, whose rule is, let's say, is a scholastic high achieving group, and the rule is you must maintain a 4.0 grade point average to be in the group, which means it will not let a 3.89 join the group, even though 3.89 is high ass achievement. To get in the club, you need a 4.0. Every motherfucker in there has a 4.0, which means they're not your ordinary thinkers. Now, if you want to get in, get your GPA up to a 4.0, hold it there for a couple of fucking semesters, and you can get in. Group members accept it like that. So you don't get, a special chance. They don't lower the standards for you. That's to keep the riffraff out. What good is working to reach level 10 if you reduce the difficulty in reaching it? What happens when people are faced with the standards to join? I'm saying, shit, think about it. Are you going to lower it? Something they have to study to learn. Something you had to study to learn. You had to get perfection on it. And I come along and I explain something. Do they supposed to lower it for me? Will you accept that? No. You wouldn't want the difficulty lowered for the underachievers. That's why this game is fucked up now. Look at the game, this Abba, how it has changed. You want to know why it's not the same anymore? It changed because it's not an exclusive club anymore. Anybody can be in it now. It's just important for you to realize simply because you fucking heard of something or become aware of something does not mean it's for you. It seems as today's youngsters think they think once you learn a new term, they got to use it. Having game means something. Simp means something. Go getter means something. Top notch means something. But to you, as soon as you learn what it means, fuck it. You don't fuck if you qualify to use it. You just use it anyway. This is what reduces the value of the word. This is why women don't believe shit none of you motherfuckers be saying. Because each time you give yourself the name king or pimp or international whatever, and you are not qualified to be that, every time you introduce yourself with that name, you lessen the quality of the word and you lessen what you represent to whoever you're talking about. King whoever should have a kingdom of bitches that makes him worthy of that name. International so-and-so should have at least traveled to different states, preferably different countries. especially if you use the word pimp in your name. You should really be pimping. Why would you name yourself something and not try to live up to what that word means? You do that because you have no pride in yourself. You have accepted that you are a faker, and when you speak your name, you don't even stick your chest out. When I named myself Rosebud, I adopted the whole kid and caboodle. Everything I knew about roses, the colors, and all pastel, all that became part of how I roll. Because I ain't no halfway being motherfucker. I'm all the way there. I ain't fucking with it. When I arrived anywhere, I announced my name. I never simply just said Rosebud. I would always say Rosebud. I would announce it. Now I hear fools fucking my name up, talking about their name Rosebud. I made my name mean something, just as pretty in front of a name used to mean something. Now it has been fucked up. Pretty Willie, pretty Tony, all meant something. But what I'll bet you didn't know, the nigga who put the word pretty in front of his name was usually an ugly motherfucker with hella game. He knew niggas and bitches who called him pretty was showing him respect. Respect that he took. And before you knew it, he was pretty. Because we all know pretty is what pretty does. And if that motherfucker was serious about his goddamn pimping, he earned that name and the respect he got from us using it. I don't know if you know this or not, but English is the only language where words can have thousands of meanings. For example, the word up or down could mean directions or emotions. Direction up is the sky. Emotion up is happy. Direction down is below. Emotion down is sad. That's not all. I mean, that's not all bad. Long as a motherfucker know what and how to use the difference in the words. But we don't. This country has got to stop watering down words and what these words mean so it can fit their fucking lesser category. We got to stop killing ourselves by accepting the watered down version of a word. The one thing the white man used to take everything from us was definitions. When they define it, they gonna take it. They used to ask us, what is soul? Because we would all say, we got soul. And when they asked us what is soul, we would kill them. It's in our feet. It's in the way we walk. It's in the way we dance. It's actually in the way we talk. We was motherfuckers. Never could they understand what the hell soul was. Then the battle between Soul Train and American Bandstand took off. Soul Train was black. American Bandstand was white. And Kool and the Gang or whoever soul record would be played on both those stations. But if you put them next to each other, playing, dancing to Kool and the Gang, black people danced one way and white people danced another way. But white people looked crazy. Not that they were, not that they could not dance. They didn't have any rhythm. So once it became exposed that soul music is moving on the second and the fourth beat to music, and white people moved naturally on the first and the third beats. So they're moving to the music, but what looks off is none of the music notes are emphasized by the moves the person is making. They would be, we would be making moves that went with the song because we felt it. But that's why they look so different, dancing to the same song because then white people didn't feel shit. They were just dancing. Once they was able to define soul, they turned it into a phase, a phase of music. And then they started calling that disco. White people started making songs, putting the emphasis on the second and the fourth beat, and I'll be damned if Blue Eyed Soul wasn't born. The next thing you know, white boys was being lauded as soul singers, blues singers, and more. Now, what I'm saying is if niggas invented those categories, how can white people take it over? Now, the next thing you know, listen, words are only as important as their meanings are. And if we want to maintain some sort of control of our destiny, we better take more care of the words we use. Progress is waiting for you to take change. Excuse me. Excuse me, I'm sorry. Progress is waiting for you to take charge. Now, if you want to make progress in this new year, I hope you ain't waiting for it to find you. Contrary to what you've heard, or what you may have heard, progress is not going to look for you. It's standing where you can see it, but it's just out of your reach. And to get it, you got to start doing things differently. When you think about it, oh, wait, so I guess I'm not going to get no calls today, huh? You guys spoil a brother with all these calls you're just giving. Now, you don't call. It's cool if you want to stay in the chat room or the chat, whatever that is. It's cool. But if you want to call, 702-605-4721. I'm here and I'm definitely going to kick it. Now, when you think about it, you should move on it. If you don't, you'll be punished by stagnation. Get the tools you need to construct a new mentality, a new confident you. Quit bullshitting. Those tools are available to you. Let's not get this shit twisted. The interpretation of this abadabba about businesses being pimps and what they sell as being the hoes. See, it's at the root of the chaos that's in this game. Statements like that are why pimps and hoes of today are so fucked up. There are real definitions for the word pimp and hoe. If you want to, you can relate any business to being a pimp and what is sold as being the hoe and the buyer as being the trick. But be honest with your goddamn self. When you close your eyes and say the word pimp or hoe or trick, what the fuck do you see? Do you see a vendor selling some goods? Do you see the goods slapping a rubber on his fucking hands that's buying it? Or do you see a fly ass nigga like me and a fine money getting bitch like a real hoe? Any person that's not qualified to do something real starts relating different shit in this motherfucking game to other things to compensate their own shortcomings. Is nothing short of hating on niggas who really have hoes when you say shit like that. To prove my point, how many ways can you hit a home run? See, what I'm saying is if you wanted to sell 4 pieces of candy, but you end up selling 40, Could you relate that to a dunk, a slam dunk, or a home run? Can we all start accepting every man can't be a pimp and every woman can't be a hoe? So let's call a rock, a spade, and stop belittling pimps and hoes by relating them to something other than this Abba Q. I warned you motherfuckers about fucking with punk bitches, but you had to learn the shit the hard way. I hope I never find out what your fucking name is if you lose into these fake women. In reality, I'm fucked up because I have really changed. I'm not gonna say nothing. If I do hear somebody's name, I ain't even fucking with them. If they call in talking that shit, I ain't gonna even get into it with them. Well, maybe I ain't fucked up, but I really love to be around, you know, a family environment. Speaking of family, my daughter was talking some kind of fucking shit that I didn't like about gay shit. But of course, I have to go with it. Not go with it or by accepting it, I have to go with it as far as that's what her thoughts about it is. I can't change it. I mean, kids today think way fucking different than we thought. So we ended up discussing that goddamn shit, and I told her, you got to miss me with that kind of shit because you and your girlfriends, if that's the case, have to deal with that shit. And you ain't got to expect me to deal with it. I have to accept whether or not that's you, which I do. But about me having to act a certain way when you come over, because you and your gay ass girlfriend or whatever the fuck don't, like or overhearing or listening in on how we talking, that's on you. Don't bring your ass over here, especially when my partner's say because none of them gay and none of them with it. So I ain't with it. But that don't mean you can't be with it. You got to choose your environments. That's on you. Shit. Because I ain't gonna let nobody fuck over my daughter because of whatever they think about some kind of gay ass shit. I know it ain't the most popular fucking thing, but I'm just saying, shit. I don't really know what they think. But if you think I think you fuck over my girl because of whatever she's saying, you crazy. But if my girl think I'm gonna change the way I live because of her decision, no. You gotta change the times you come over, or if you want to come over. Because I ain't changing shit. As wild as I have lived in my life, and as many chances I've taken and cheated death, I really am thankful to be one of the blessed to see 71 Christmases. And it looks as if I will never tire of the seasonal joy, even if it doesn't last all year. I'm just happy to be as healthy and sane as I am. And I'm looking forward to a very productive 2024. I've realized that I can't depend on the normal indicators of what's good. If it was about me, I would have deemed the holidays as a bust. During the entire month of December, I didn't net what I made in the last couple of days. The amount is unimportant. What's important is my shit is becoming a standard, something that dudes include in their to-do list. And whatever or whenever it's cool for them, they get in my shit. I know that. I believe that. I believe in what they telling me. I believe in the results that I'm seeing. It just gets more important in times like these because I don't want to pressure anybody into deciding between your kid's presence and my shit. Do I want these suits or do I want to get sharp mentally? I mean, you could make that choice, but something about your kids as important as Christmas gifts or birthday gifts or stuff like that, you can't. There's no choice. The choice is your kid. Now, you can make a choice, and believe me, you can't be wrong. You just got to deal with the shit or the bullshit you think. I firmly believe I'm the only person or force in life I need. If I'm wrong, I'll never find out because I'll be dead because of whatever mistake I made. Shit, why wait? Is it gonna come out? Is it gonna come because you waited whatever you waiting on? I don't think so. It'll only come when you don't wait because you went and got it. But you gotta be prepared for it when you get it. There's one thing we know is coming. Fellas, you got to understand that I am genuinely interested in bettering you. I just want to better you. I don't want you to continue to pretend to be someone or something you're not. The big thing to me is I'm seeing a lot of progress in how many of you guys are thinking. I just would like to reiterate how little good it does you to think you're stealing game about women from my shows. You're not stealing game. You're learning information. If you took that information and used it as far as developing tactics or strategies to get women, then you would be stealing, not stealing, but you would really be using game. Finally, someone called. Caller, what's up?
What's up, Rosebud?
I'm good, man. How you doing?
Chilling, man. Chilling.
What's up?
Just wanted to say, there's nobody like you, brother.
I appreciate that, man.
Real talk, real talk. I got like two questions. So
All
I
right.
was wondering, how do you know if a person's fucking like real or fake? If you don't really know like the subject they're talking about, like how do you like discern that?
Let's say I'm saying some shit that I know, blah blah blah, and you don't really know about it, but you're wondering if I'm real or fake.
Yeah.
Well, man, as far as how convincing that person is talking, you can't tell. But that don't mean you don't supposed to believe what they saying either, unless they can pull out a badge or an ID or some shit to show that that's what they are. So, but what I'm saying is, you got to use your senses. If the motherfucker's saying this, that, and the other, you need to pay attention to it so you can quiz him on something you heard. And if it match, that don't mean he telling you the truth. That just mean you could go or relax on doubting him and go with what he's saying, and then find out if you're really curious.
Yeah.
But other than that, you don't supposed. Other than that, you don't supposed to care about that shit. You just supposed to make sure you on your job.
Yeah, I'll be questioning a lot of shit ever since listening to you.
Well, what's the second question?
The second question is how important is being fly, like your clothes and shit like that? You're just a nigga out here trying to, do what you're doing and shit.
It's not important at all. It's not important at all. It can be an asset to your personality. So what I'm saying is, it's important if you use it as an asset. But when you think of it the way you're asking that question, it's like the clothes by you. Otherwise, when you put on the clothes, something is supposed to happen. You're fly and whatever's supposed to. No, man, that's not what fly is. When you put the shit on, it accents whatever motions you make. Whatever you're doing, talking to this girl, crossing the street, whatever. Your clothes, if they fly, just accents what you're doing. Because a fly motherfucker with these fly ass clothes could say some goddamn buster shit out his mouth. Then how he gonna look? Even in them clothes, he gonna look like a buster.
Yeah.
Them clothes,
right.
The clothes don't make you. You make the clothes.
Yeah. I think a lot of people need to hear that because, you know, I feel like a lot of, you know, I hear a lot of niggas be saying shit, oh, yo, you see my J's, you see my Gucci, you see me, you know, niggas say a lot of dumb shit, so, you know.
That's what that's what it really be, dumb shit, man, because who gives a fuck about your Gucci's? Did them Gucci's buy you or what?
For real.
I'm just saying the only way them Gucci's could really be motherfuckers is if they bought you.
Yeah.
Because you went and bought them. Hey, you went and bought the Gucci's. You should be the motherfucker.
Yeah.
All right?
So, yeah, for sure, brother.
All right, man. Be cool. Hey, you know, them were some good questions, but I'm really serious when I say I'm trying to better you. You know, pretending and all that bullshit, it's going to change your perception of who you are. Once you end all that pretending and you know, faking, because the big thing to me is I'm seeing just so many of you calling in, saying or expressing how much thought you're starting to put into what you're doing. So I've said this before and I'll say it again. What you get from my show is like knowing just enough karate to get your natural ass kicked. You got to motherfucking get involved past the show. Because talking about karate show you how you can motherfucking defend 5 guys at one time and don't get hurt, and then you stand up with all the guys knocked down. Yeah, that's karate, all right. But that's the results of learning karate. That ain't learning karate. That ain't being able to do that. That's what you really need to do. So you ain't stealing no game. You're just knowing what you don't know, or you're learning what you don't know. You can't possibly believe you're learning just, oh, well, I take that back. There are some things you can learn from my show just listening. Yeah, I take that back. I was making a point. But that point is dead. Those of you who have my course, you can make the claim that you're learning from what I say on my shows because I showed you how my show and my course works together. Those of you who think I'm so stupid to give free shows that would circumvent my course are just where you should be, on the sidelines of life, watching it go by. The men who have stepped up their game because of what they got from the course will not ever be where you are again in their lives. Why? Because they took charge of making a change and not other way around. Otherwise, you want to make a change, so you let change be in charge and you wait for it to do something. Most of you motherfuckers allow change to take charge of you, so you wait for it. How is that working for you? Shit. I'm just saying, I'm coming and I'm not going to slow down. I'm going to put the pedal to the metal. My time is coming again, and I'm so ready for it because I work hard, although it may appear that I hardly work. I happen to know you get several turns in life. And so far, I've been granted 3. But I work hard not to abuse my chances. So I work hard each time I got one. And that's because I'm one of the few people in the world who enjoys what I do. And you know what they say, when you enjoy your work, it's not really working. 2024 is my year, but it doesn't mean that you can't share in the wealth of the coming year with me. All it takes is preparation. And you need to understand you can prepare for the greatness that's waiting for you. All right, you guys, goddamn it. I did not mean to go so long, but I did. I'm gone too.